The flare of lightning at his birth was appropriate because electricity soon fascinated Nicola. When he was 3 years old, he loved to play with Maquette, the family cat. One cold, dry day, while he stroked Maquette's fur, he saw little sparks. Nicola was amazed. He didn't understand what the sparks were at the time, but he knew he wanted to find out. It's electricity, his father explained. The same thing you see through cheese in a storm. Nicola followed his mother's example by experimenting and coming up with his own ideas. When he was 4, he developed his first invention. One day, the other boys in the village went fishing, but they didn't take Nicola with them. Determined not to miss out on all the fun, Nicola made his own fishing line with an hook on the end of a string. He didn't have bait to tempt the fish. His homemade line didn't work. But while Nicola was trying to figure out what went wrong, a frog leaped at the hook. Nicola grabbed him. It turned out that his fishing line was really a frog catcher. He returned to the farm with nearly 24 frogs that day. All the boys in the neighborhood liked to play with frogs. His friends hadn't caught a single fish, but they were happy to learn Nicola's secrets for catching frogs. When he was 5, Nicola began going to school in the village. He studied math, religion, and German. Outside the classroom, he was always learning too. Once, when Nicola was playing down by a stream in the village, he noticed that a small slice of a tree trunk shaped like a circle. Nicola cut a hole through the center of the wood. He found a tree branch and pushed that through the hole. Then he rested the ends of the branch on the opposite banks of the stream. The slice of the tree trunk was partly in the water. The wheel began to spin. The force of the water made the wheel turn round and round. Nicola had taken energy from nature, the stream, and generated enough power to spin the wheel around. Chapter 2: Scientific Mind. The Tesla farm had many types of animals, including chickens, sheep, and geese. Nicola especially liked to watch the geese. In perfect formation, they flew off each morning to their feeding grounds. In perfect formation, they came back at sundown. It was a shock to a 7-year-old Nicola when the family moved to the nearby town of Gospik. His father had been sent there by his church to become the pastor of the town's Orthodox parish. A pastor is the religious leader of a certain region or community. Gospik was only a few miles away from Smaljan. Before Nicola, it was a world of difference. Gospik was much bigger than his cozy village had been, and many more people lived there. The Tesla family lived in a house in Gospik, not on a farm. Nicola had loved going into the woods of Smaljan. He liked to play by the stream, experimenting with his water wheels. But in his new town, Nicola was too shy to wander from the house much at all. I would rather have faced a roaring lion than one of the city dudes who strutted about, he said. But Nicola was required to go to his father's church every Sunday. He was glad to be given the job of ringing the bells before and after each service. It means going up into the bell tower, called a belfry, away from the city dudes. Before the church service began, Nicola would race up the steps to the belfry to ring the bell. After the service was over and everyone had left the church, he raced back down the steps. One day, Nicola didn't realize that not quite everyone had left the church. A wealthy woman in a fancy dress was making her way outside. She had stopped to talk with Milutin. Nicola barreled down the steps, 3 at a time. He took his last leap and, to his dismay, saw that he was heading straight for the long edge of the woman's dress that trailed behind her as she walked. It was a direct hit. The back of the dress tore off with such a great ripping sound that many of the churchgoers rushed back inside to see what had happened. The woman was furious. Milutin was embarrassed, and Nicola was in trouble. After that, Nicola felt as if no one in town wanted to even talk to him. He worried about it for a long time. He didn't feel forgiven until he became the hero of the day for being smart enough to fix the hose on the new fire pump. In Gospel, Nicola completed his elementary schooling during the day. At night, he read the books in his father's library. Of all things, I like the books the best, he said. Nicola would stay up late into the night reading. His father thought Nicola was going to ruin his eyesight. Milutin thought that maybe Nicola liked the books a little too much. He took away the candles Nicola needed to read at night. So Nicola went to his room and made his own candles. He blocked the space underneath the door and the keyhole so no light could be seen from the outside. Sometimes he stayed up all night reading until his mother began her morning class. In one book, Nicola read about a place in North America called Niagara Falls.